Alright, let's look at the practice exam 2, problem number 2. Alright, so let's find the derivative and the second derivative of this given function. Alright, as usual, we can use 1/2 power and the square root can be used interchangeably. So whichever is convenient. So it's a quantity x squared plus 1 to the 1/2 power. Alright. So let's take the derivative. So I'm going to use the quotient rule. So y prime is equal to, right? So square the denominator. So square root is gone. So I'm going to just write x squared plus 1, right? Then take the derivative of the top. Derivative of x is 1 times the bottom, which is square root of x squared plus 1, right, minus x, the top guy, times derivative of the bottom. I'm going to use the 1/2 power version because it's easier to take the derivative from there. So I put the 1/2 in front, keep the inside function as it is, and subtract 1 from the power, so it's negative 1/2. Then multiply by derivative inside, which is 2x. Derivative of x squared is 2x. Derivative of x is derivative of 1 is 0. Right, so we have that. Then try to simplify as much as possible since we need to take another derivative. Right, so first thing I would do is I would cancel 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. Right, and another thing I would do is since you have a negative power there, that means that you're going to have a fraction inside the fraction. I would like to avoid that. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by square root of x squared plus 1. So I'm going to have to do the same thing to the bottom, x squared plus 1. All right. Then if you distribute square root of x squared plus 1, so I'm going to distribute this guy to the first term on top. Then it's a square root of x squared plus 1 times itself. So you're going to get x squared plus 1. Right? Then minus. Alright, so if you distribute this guy to the second term, you can see that there's going to be a cancellation. So we can cancel x squared plus 1 to the negative 1/2, which is the reciprocal of this guy. So you can cancel those out. Right? So what's left is going to be, so there's an x here. Then there's another x there. So it's going to be x squared. So you have x squared there. And then over, right? So you have x squared plus 1 to the first power multiplied by the same thing with the 1/2 power. So 1 plus 1/2 is 3/2. Right? So then again we can cancel x squared and x squared cancel out. And we can actually rewrite it as, right, it's 1 over, so it's reciprocal. So I'm going to actually write it as x squared plus 1, raise it to the negative 3/2, right, because it's on the bottom. Right, so that's the first derivative. Right, then the second derivative is actually fairly easy from there. So you have take another derivative. Right, this is just a general power rule or power rule with chain rule. Right, put the power in front, so negative 3/2 is in front. Alright, then keep the inside function as it is. Then subtract 1 from the power, so it's going to be negative 5/2. Then multiply by derivative of the inside. Derivative of x squared plus 1 is 2x. Alright, that's the chain rule there. Then we can simplify, so you can see that we can cancel 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. So this is going to be equal to, right? So there's a negative sign there. So here's a negative sign. So I put the negative sign there. right? Then there's a 3 there, and also x there, so I'm gonna put 3x on top. All right, then you have a negative power there, so x squared plus 1 is gonna sit on the bottom. Then you would have to raise it to the 5/2 power. Right? So that's that. So that's the second derivative of the given function. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.